Hello? I'm just testing. Doesn't seem Why can't I hear any audio coming out of the video? Ah. Why? I'm streaming. There's video. Oh, maybe that's why. Alright, I don't understand why my audio is not working. Maybe it is. I don't understand. Why can I hear this video on this computer, but I can't hear this video? So weird. This literally makes no sense. I have my audio. It's connected to my laptop, which is streaming to YouTube. Pulled up the video on YouTube on my other computer. And I can hear the audio coming out of the computer, but not my headphones. But this video, which is also running on that computer, comes through my headphones just fine. Why can't I hear this video in my headphones? Anybody got any ideas? If anybody's watching? I don't understand why my headphones won't play out this video and this video in my headphones when it's the same computer. This is the weirdest shit ever. I think my computer's about to crash because it's working real hard right now. I want to make sure you guys can hear me, And I think you can. I think you can because I can hear the audio coming from the video on my computer from this. So I would think you could, but at the same time, I don't know. Because I can't hear it in my headphones. Makes no sense at all. Oh, there we go. Alright, well, the audio is working, so it's just my headphones and this headphone jack being weird. So let's start coding. Whatever. I guess I'll just turn this. Yeah, I'll turn this off. Put on some ASMR for myself. And start playing this synthwave. That's what I like to use when I code. All right. Then, well, let's go to phone cam only for a second. Cool. My name's Russ. I think I'm talking to nobody right now, but well, maybe I could. That's a good thing. Maybe I could pull up my current viewers. Well, all right. This is all over the place with the recommended bitrate. It recommends one thing and then it recommends another thing. Anyway, my name is Russ, and I'm going to start learning to code. I'm going to go into the details of why later, but I started Code Academy recently, and we're going to see how it goes. I've been doing it for a couple weeks now, or at least I think this is the 12th day. So I'm on a 12-day streak. We're going to keep it up. Bear with me because I'm new to live streaming. So here we go. If anybody hasn't used Code Academy, then you should check it out if you're interested in coding. I have done, well, let's look at my profile. I'm learning JavaScript, by the way. I decided I want to try to be a full stack web developer, and I am a long way from that. So figured a good place to start would be learning JavaScript. And my computer is super slow because it's running all this shit. Is this still streaming stuff? Yeah, it's still streaming stuff. Alright. So this is Intro to JavaScript. I did a little bit of coding in college, not a lot, but I used MATLAB. So it's kind of a C-based language. So I kind of knew the basics, but learning a whole different language, and I definitely didn't know most of the details. It was just enough to do the math that I needed in the classes. Anyway, went through functions, variables, arrays. I learned about scope. Had never done that before. Loops, iterators, objects was a new thing to me. Objects seem pretty useful and very used in all the new languages, object-oriented programming. I don't know much about it, but so far I've learned about objects and classes, and I'm down here at promises. So let's jump into promises. It looks like you define a function that you call later for some reason. This is more of like a working stream, so I'm just gonna read and then work on the code. I did some of this earlier today, but I never made it past the first step because I got distracted with work. So define my function using the JavaScript functions resolve and reject that I'll call. This function will resolve if once it's resolved. If you have an inventory of sunglasses, if you have some sunglasses, then you resolve it there. You resolve it, and it outputs. And the JavaScript function resolve outputs this. And otherwise, if you don't have that inventory, then the JavaScript will run this function internally that outputs that it's sold out. Okay. When you're ready, press check work. I feel like I'm ready. I thought I did this earlier and it said I was wrong and I didn't have time to figure it out. So check the logic of your executor function. If the sunglasses property is greater than 0, resolve should be invoked with sunglasses order processed. Check your spelling and punctuation. All right, my executor is an object, or is a function, and the function is going to be these two things, those two arguments. If statement, inventory dot sunglasses, inventory dot sunglasses greater, it's greater than 0. Duh. Okay. I'm a moron. Create a function, order sunglasses. This function should have no parameters. Should return a new promise constructed by passing your myExecutor function into the promise. Okay. I read this earlier today, but I don't remember, so I gotta go look at how it's done. So you create a variable, and it's just a promise that runs your executor function. Okay. I gotta remind myself of what this is for, but I kind of want to just get it over with and then understand it. Order, no, constant, give a constant, and name it create a function. Okay, I guess this is a function. Order sunglasses. I'm also trying to learn how to type because I've never really learned how to type properly. I can type pretty fast, but I make a lot of mistakes. So I'm trying to go back and learn how to type the normal way with your fingers in the right place on the keyboard. So if I type slow, that's why. New promise of my executor. And do I have to... I don't think I have to put the parentheses because I'm not calling my executor, so that should be good. Let me check this before I... All right. Order sunglasses should be a function. Well, this wasn't a function. Is this a function? Is that a function? I don't understand. Is the syntax different than what your examples were? If I ran a function, if I created an order sunglasses that was a function, but this is the same syntax as you used in your example. Did I misspell something? Because that's exactly what I wrote. Order sunglasses equals new space promise my executor. Alrighty then. Remember to pass the function in without invoking it. Make sure your order sunglasses function returns the promise. How we doing? Anybody watching this? No, really just me? Cool. That's alright. I'm curious if unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. That's weird. Why not? Huh. Oh look, a coding ad for Coding Dojo. I looked it up. It looks kind of expensive, so maybe I'll take it someday if I really get into it. But Code Academy is free and it's working pretty well for me, except when it does this shit. This has happened a couple times where my code was literally the exact same as the example and it was giving me errors. There was one time where I made sure that it was literally the same exact words, wouldn't work, and then I copy and pasted it and then it worked. It was, I don't understand. But anyway, for the most part, Code Academy has been really good. So I did learn though that I could, if you check your work multiple times, you can do view solution. You have it give you the solution of the exercise. All right. I can have it give me the solution, but unfortunately, it'll give me the solution for all of these steps. So let me just try to finish the steps on my own with the grayed out stuff. Create a variable, order promise. Order promise assigned to the return value of your order sunglasses function. So if I return the value of the order sunglasses function, I'm not really sure what the return value is. So if I run order sunglasses, then it'll do a promise of my executor. So it'll output these depending on that. So my variable should output the one of these depending on what the inventory is. All right. I feel like there's simpler ways to do this, and this is a very roundabout way, but I suppose that this might be useful for more complex files. Or I feel like it should be a constant, but it might need to be a variable. I don't know if sometimes I need more examples of let. So far, the Code Academy has not given me many examples of when to use the let variable, so I'm unsure of exactly when you need to use it. All right, order sunglasses. Order promise is equal to it should just be order sunglasses. The returned value of your order sunglasses. I feel like it would just be order sunglasses. I think. Or do I have to invoke my executor at some point? I'm not sure. Constant, your code should look similar to this. Constant, my variable name. Oh, okay, so my order sunglasses is a function. So I guess a promise is a function. So I need to invoke it in order to get a return. All right. Let's check my work and see if it does anything. No. All right. At the bottom of your file, log order promise to the console. All right. Console dot. My last name's Console, by the way. It's actually Console, but it's spelled like console. So I just typed my last name tons of times. Order promise. And this exercise into this list will provide you with a bash terminal. To run the apps.js program. All right. I feel like I should check my work before. All right. I'm just gonna view the solution for now. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Huh. So that's why it didn't work. Okay, so it's not constant. The order sunglasses isn't equal to the promise. The order sunglasses is a function, like it was telling me it was, that returns the promise, which is different than both of their examples. So I guess I just didn't understand the basic idea of what a promise is. Constructing a promise object. A promise is an object. So I guess when an object, a function is an object. So anyway, all right, well, why would you want order sunglasses to be a function that returns the promise rather than just being equal to the promise itself? And then having to declare a whole nother variable that does that? This is the time when that Coding Dojo that ad was for might be useful, because I could have somebody explain it, and I don't have anybody to explain it, but I can figure it out. Why is this buffering? Did my live stream die? No, we're good. Nobody watching. It's just me talking to myself. That's okay. All right. I want to do this stuff because I need to learn it, but I gotta figure this out. Why? Where's the other? Okay. Why did I have to make order promise or order sunglasses a function that returns a promise rather than just being equal to the promise itself? Well, what's the purpose? Promise contains my executor. What's the output of promise my executor? Is it an object that contain, like, if I do dot resolve, does that give me sunglasses order processed? Probably not. Constant executor function. My first promise. Equals promise. So they said that they're saying that this itself is the promise. I feel like this was just two steps that could have been done in one. I I don't know why they did that, but okay, whatever. In this exercise and throughout the lesson, we'll provide you a bash terminal to execute your code. All right. To run your program, you'll type node file name in the terminal and hit enter. Or return. I remember clicking on a previous assignment or lesson, we used the keyword run and then build. But build was the name of a function that we defined in the project description. So, okay, so for running files in the bash terminal, we are going to use node. So node is the keyword I need to run a file. Let's try it. Type node, file name, hit enter. And if you'd like to, you can see an alternate output by changing the sunglasses property. Node app.js. Enter. Promise. Sunglasses order processed. Interesting. iConsole.log order promise. Order promise was equal to the return of order sunglasses. Order sunglasses was a function that returned the promise that was written from here. It's way too many steps. Well, let's experiment. Let's try. Well, first it said turn this to 0, and see the new output. I don't know how to save. How do I save this? Copy to clipboard. No, that's reset. I don't want to reset. All right, whatever. Node apps, not apps. Apps.app.js. Enter. Promise rejected. That item is sold out. Unhandled promise reject warning. I'm kind of sorry. Let me just check and see if this is still going. All right, we're still going. So I got the rejection that I expected. Rejected. This item is sold out, but I got more stuff too. Unhandled promise rejection warning. Unhandled promise rejection. Rejection ID 1. That item is sold out. Deprecation warning. Unhandled promise rejections are deprecated. Okay, I feel like I did everything I was supposed to. That's just something that, like, handling promise rejection sounds like something that I might learn later. So, what did I want to do? I wanted to experiment a little bit, and I wanted to take these two and just delete this one. And I wanted to turn this, rather than a function, just into a constant. And I now want to console.log order sunglasses. All right, so this is now just a constant rather than a function that calls the thing. And I want to see if it outputs the same thing or not. Let me change this back to a non-zero variable or non-zero value so that I want node app.js. Enter. Cool. Worked fine. So I didn't need those extra steps, turning sunglasses into a function and the order promise off of that. So that wasn't anything relevant to a particular lesson, but I feel like I'm going to have to change it back when I click next, because the next lesson might have to use that function. Stream's current bitrate is 1162. We recommend using a stream bitrate of 4500. Should I pause this and come back with the proper bitrate? Yeah, I kind of want to. If this ends, then just have a good night and I'll stream again later. But I'm going to end the stream real quick and see if I can start it back up with a new bitrate. All right. All right, we're back. Um, couldn't couldn't change the bit rate. I was losing. It was my computer was dropping like 70% of the frames. So um, I'll have to figure out if I can set up the stream in a different way next time to be able to use a faster bit rate, but not so many frames. I think I'm using my CPU right now, but I have a good graphics card in here, so I tried using the graphics card, but it said my drivers weren't up to date, so I'll try that next time. Man, I wish I had people to give me some feedback because I don't know if you guys can hear any music or not. So I'm supposed to have music in the background, but I don't know if it's there. Um, maybe it's not even playing actually. Ah, yeah, it's not even playing. Maybe now you can hear it. All right. Let's try. Moving forward, we'll be simulating this by providing it. Just settle after some time. Oh god, there's a lot of functions here. Okay. You got a function called return promise function. Returns a promise. Sort of like the last order sunglasses function, which I didn't understand why it existed, but maybe I'll learn now. Anyway, you return a promise. Inside that promise is an executor function. Arguments of resolve and reject. After a, okay, but no, it's not an if statement. It's like a when statement. So after a certain amount of time, you're gonna run resolve. There's no reject though. Interesting. Getting tired. Might call it soon. I still don't know what the use of returning a function that returns a promise is, rather than just I guess this is defining it, but you won't start this 1 second wait time until this thing. So this is what actually invokes this function to return this promise. So this is just sort of a definition of the whole thing, but you don't want to actually invoke, you don't actually want to use the promise. You don't want to start this timer until you want to use it. So I guess that's what that purpose is. Was this whole thing just to mess with set timeout? We're not doing promises right now. This will build in promises later. Do I have to make a... I feel like I need to make this a variable or something. The last thing had these as objects. Make it 1 second. Oh, never mind, it wasn't objects, it was a function, and then, okay. So in 1 second, it'll run that. I don't have to... Take a moment to predict the output of this program. Whenever you're ready, type node app.js, and the output's going to be the string, but it's going to wait a second. See if the program's output in the terminal lines up with what you expected. Okay, so we're at a console.log. This is the first line of code. This is the last kind of line of code. Well, I made it 1 second. So I feel like it's going to log this before it reaches a second. So I think string 1 is going to be after the last line of code. Let's just give it a try. Node app.js. Nice. Yeah, I did that. Cool. Can you like give me a green check mark so I feel good about myself and can click next? Please? I did it. Let's try it again. All right. Next. How long is this? Promises goes to 11, and I'm on 5. Let's get through 5, and then I'll call it a day. Let's get halfway through. What time is it? 10:30. Man. Uh-oh. Users will experience buffering? That's not good. Stream health is poor. Well, why is my stream health poor? Should be healthy. I've got 13% dropped frames. Bit rate's okay. Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using a faster encoding preset. Faster encoding preset. Encoder. Okay. Ultra fast. Let's see if that works. I doubt it, but I doubt that'll do anything. I don't understand enough about my hardware to know what's going on. Encoder overloaded. I think I really just need to switch to my graphics card as an encoder rather than my CPU. I just need to update my drivers, so I'll do that another time. Sorry if you have buffering. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Consuming promises. Oh, I meant between these lessons, I don't know, talk a little bit, I guess. I don't have any, there's no people in the stream right now. There's 0 people watching, which is great. That's okay. But, talking. Yeah, I've done a lot of businesses, or not a lot, but I've tried several businesses now, but they're all very high risk, not high risk, low likelihood of success, I'll say. And I wasn't willing to, and because of that, I wasn't willing to risk a lot of money or I did spend a lot of time on them. But anyway, I'm getting close to the time when I really need a stable money supply. I have one right now, but that's going to come to an end in a couple of years. So I need to be prepared for when that time comes. And my plan is now to be able to offer services as a web developer, at least in the short term. After that, the whole time I'm still going to be trying businesses, but for now I really need to focus on getting a skill that I can sell, because that's a much more conservative approach, and yet I don't want to be an employee of a big company. That just doesn't sound fun. So I'd rather have a particular service and had clients. And I've always I was pretty good at coding when I learned it in college, when I used MATLAB. I didn't go into super detail there, but I enjoyed it, so I figured this is a good start. That's what I'm doing. I hope that you're always trying to improve, always trying to move towards the next thing, because staying stagnant, I feel like, takes a toll on your mental health over time. I've met a lot of older people that don't seem satisfied with what they've done in their lives, and that may seem harsh, but the most bitter people seem to be the ones that have been in the same job for their whole life, and I don't know. That's just not something that I'm interested in. I'd like to keep moving, keep learning new things, and what's life if you never saw anything new? You know, life's about experience. Life's about learning, and that's what we're here for. So here we go. Back to JavaScript. Consuming promises. Oh, I guess one more thing. In this coronavirus time, it's good to use your time wisely and to, I don't know, better yourself in some way. A lot of people are binging Netflix and all that, and I've been playing a fair amount of video games and stuff, but I still have to work. I work from home now, but still have to work. But when I'm off work, I have more time at home than normal, so I'm trying to learn something useful, and I think that'd be good for all of us to do now that we have more time at home. And I'm happy that internet companies, AT&T, for me, are keeping up with the higher demand. I'm able to live stream and watch multiple YouTube videos and do my coding course all at the same time. So I'm pretty grateful for that right now. Anyway, uh, hope you got something to work on yourself. But let's get back into JavaScript and consuming promises. You so you have a then statement that tells Java what to happen when your promise settles. But I thought that's what resolve was for. In the case of our dishwasher. Alright, well, I think that's probably enough for tonight. Video streaming is poor, so I'll come back tomorrow or another day with we'll use the graphics card as an encoder rather than the CPU, and hopefully that'll make things better. But I'm not a hardware guy nor a software guy, so we'll figure this out as we go along. If you didn't hear what I was saying earlier, I am learning to code. I would like to be prepared in a couple years to offer services as a web developer. My current stable income stream will be coming to an end, and I don't really want to work for a large employer. So yeah, I'm trying to get some sort of skill that I can sell. I've attempted to start a couple businesses. They had a very low likelihood of success, possibly a very high reward if they did succeed. But I'm running out of time, so I've only got a couple years until I really need that different source of income. So I'm going to go with something more conservative for now. I'll still be working on some more high risk stuff, but I need a main thing. So I started JavaScript lessons last week on Code Academy. It's going really well so far. And yeah, catch you next time.